All right, here we go. I know most of you are like, Kevin, why are you doing this? Like, we don't care. We don't care right now. But I knew that the Emmys were coming up, and I didn't feel like it would make sense to do a video without doing a nominations video. I'm not at the point where I want to put this on my channel. It's eventually going to go on my channel, but for now, it is going to be a Tiger Squad exclusive video. Hello, Kaden. Anyway, I'm not going to go super in-depth with everything. I'm just going to go through the major categories and things like that. Like I said, this will eventually be on my YouTube. I'm still contemplating whether or not I'll do a live stream for the Emmys. I'm leaning towards no, mainly because I just don't really care this year. I have not seen enough TV, I think, to accurately give a really good live stream and things like that. This has been the least amount of TV that I've watched in years, mainly just because of how many movies I've seen in college and work and things like that. But I did want to do a nominations video, and I do want to do a video talking about the winners. This is a nominations video. Yes, Gary, keening for the win, but here we go. We're going to go through each individual category. There is a ballot right here, and I just got the Facebook screen share feature as well, so you'll actually be able to see me read through each of the nominations. So here we go. So I'm just going to go from least important to most important, starting off with one. Okay, these two I don't care about. I'm not going to do the reality shows. I don't watch reality TV. I'm not really going to get into it all that much. For structured reality, I think Queer Eye's probably going to win. I've heard so many people talk about that. Unstructured reality, I don't fucking know. Maybe RuPaul's Drag Race. I honestly don't care about the reality one, so I'm not going to go through those. However, we are going to start off with television movie. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out how do you do the screen share thing? There should be a thing here, but it's not coming up. Save to Facebook. That's not what I want to do. Facebook screen sharing. I don't know how you do this, so I'm not going to try it. I don't exactly know how all that works. But either way, we are going to start off with the first one, which is, like I said, television movie. So for this one, we have Fahrenheit 451, Flint, Paterno, The Tale, and Black Mirror USS Callister. Now, unfortunately, as much as I love The Tale, and you guys know how much I love The Tale, it is one of the most underseen works of this entire year. I'm one of the only people in this group that has seen it. I'm one of the only people, that has really reviewed it or talked about it. And I really wish more coverage would be out there for this film. I think it's a very important film, especially considering that the director went through such a traumatic experience, and the fact that she was able to kind of use this as a way to tell that story and kind of a way to use it sort of like as a warning for people that they should speak up and not do what, Jennifer did. So there's so many things I love about The Tale overall. Laura Dern, just phenomenal. And that probably some of the best work, maybe the best work I've ever seen from her. Unfortunately, I don't think that it is, necessarily popular enough to win this award. If it does, then great, but I do think this is going to go to Fahrenheit 451. There was so much hype surrounding that film, and, you got Michael B. Jordan, Michael Shannon, and I really like Michael B. Jordan. I wasn't a huge fan of the film. I found it to be incredibly surface level, but it's not a film that I hate, so I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but The Tale, I think, is so deserving, and I think it deserves way more of a chance than Fahrenheit 451 did. That being said, I think Fahrenheit 451 is going to get this, unfortunately. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to see the rest of the way the night really does play out. But I'm pretty sure this is going to go to Fahrenheit 451. So that's what I'm going to say for Best Television Movie. If it is one of the other ones that I haven't seen, then cool, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go to Fahrenheit 451. All right. So now we go to Variety Talk Series, which again, I don't really care that much about this one. I think it's going to go to The Daily Show. Variety Sketch Series is definitely going to go to Saturday Night Live. I could be wrong, but I think it's probably going to go to that. Reality Competition, don't care. Okay. Guest actress in a comedy series. We have Tina Fey for Saturday Night Live, Tiffany Haddish for Saturday Night Live, Jane Lynch for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Maya Rudolph for The Good Place, Molly Shannon for Will and Grace, and Wanda Sykes for Blackish. So, again, the unfortunate thing here is that I've only seen one of these, and that's Jane Lynch on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I wouldn't really consider a comedy. It's kind of a mixture of both, but I wouldn't necessarily consider it a comedy. However, I think most likely it. Oh, okay. Tiffany Haddish already won, so there's no point in even discussing it. So Tiffany Haddish, congrats! You won this award. That's fantastic. Congrats, Tiffany Haddish, for Guest Actress. Guest Actor. This one we have Sterling K. Brown, Bryan Cranston, Donald Glover, Gary Rucker himself, Bill Hader, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Cat Williams. I'm not sure if this one was given out either, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go to, I want to say Donald Glover. I could be wrong, but I want to say Donald Glover's going to get this. He's a pretty big talent right now, and I think he might possibly get this. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say Donald Glover. Again, I'm not entirely sure. And I don't really feel like I can accurately judge this one, but I'm going to say Donald Glover for now. So Donald Glover for Best Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. Guest Actress in a Drama Series, can't really go through that one. I think it's probably going to go to Matthew Good for The Crown, mainly because, just like I said, how The Crown won so much 2 years ago, and it seems like a lot of the things The Crown is nominated for, it does usually end up winning. And while I don't think The Crown is going to win a lot of the major categories, I think Matthew Good most likely is going to take home this one. So I think Matthew Good for The Crown for Guest Actor. And then Guest Actress, this one's tough. I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it's going to be one of the ones from The Handmaid's Tale, because The Handmaid's Tale won the majority of stuff last year. But I've noticed this trend that the Emmys don't like to, have the same wins 2 years in a row. So I don't think they're going to get this one. I don't think it's going to be someone from The Handmaid's Tale. It could possibly be Ron Cephas-Jones for This Is Us. I'm just kind of going out. Oh, wait, that's for Guest Actor. It could possibly be Diana Rigg for Game of Thrones, because it's like the last year she could get it. Of course, we know what ended up happening to that character. But at the same time, I'm just not entirely sure. We'll have to see the way that one does go. But for right now, I'll say either someone from The Handmaid's Tale or Diana Rigg for Game of Thrones. All right. So, supporting actor in a limited series or movie. Supporting actress, actually. We have Sarah Bareilles for Jesus Christ Superstar, which, let me just say, I'm actually really happy that Jesus Christ Superstar got a lot of love. I feel like this is the first time where one of the big, lavish, either NBC or Fox productions is actually getting recognized. So I think that's actually really cool. But we got that one. We also have Penelope Cruz for The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Judith Light for American Crime Story, Adina Porter for American Horror Story Cult, Merritt Weaver for Godless, and Letitia Wright for Black Museum, Black Mirror. So for this one, again, a little bit tough. Normally, I would say someone from a Ryan Murphy production, because that one tends to win a lot of the time. The issue here is that 3 people are from Ryan Murphy Productions, both Judith Light and Penelope Cruz for American Crime Story, and Adina Porter for American Horror Story Cult. Most likely this is going to Penelope Cruz. I mean, from the 2 episodes I saw, she was phenomenal. She had that character down to a T. She had the voice down. She had the look down. If she doesn't win this, I'll be very surprised. I think that role, honestly, was kind of made for her to win. But at the same time, she completely nailed it in that role. I think it's most likely going to go to her. I'm honestly surprised Adina Porter was nominated for Cult. maybe it's because a lot of people thought she should have gotten it for Roanoke, and Roanoke didn't get nominated for anything last year from what I remember. So maybe that's why she's there. But like I said, I think most likely it's going to go to Penelope Cruz. The episode with Judith Light, I really did love. I have seen 3 episodes of Assassination of Gianni Versace. I just never reviewed the third one. And she's phenomenal in that 3rd episode. But she's only in 1 episode. So I think Penelope Cruz most likely is going to take this home. I think definitely she does deserve it. And like I said, I think Penelope Cruz will most likely win for supporting actress in a limited series or movie. All right. So supporting actor in a limited series or movie, we have Jeff Daniels for Godless, Brandon Victor Dixon for Jesus Christ Superstar, John Leguizamo for Waco, kind of interesting, Ricky Martin for The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Edgar Ramirez for The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Michael Stuhlbarg for The Looming Tower, and Finn Wittrock for, once again, The Assassination of Gianni Versace. So many people getting nominated for American Crime Story. More than I expected, especially considering there were only like 4 or 5 main characters. I'm surprised by how many people really got up there. And also because this season wasn't really as highly regarded as the last season. People like the season, but it wasn't as, highly acclaimed, best show of the year, like the previous entry. So I was quite surprised with that. This one is kind of tricky, like I said, because once again, we have 3 people nominated for American Crime Story. I think it's going to go to Edgar Ramirez. I'm not entirely sure again, but he had the Versace portrayal down very well. I know a lot of people said even he was the best of the bunch. I know people who didn't like Darren Criss in the show, they would say Edgar Ramirez was the best. So I think definitely he does have a chance. But I would not be upset if this went to Brandon Victor Dixon. I mean, out of everyone, Jesus Christ Superstar, he's the one that I hear the most acclaim about. And I do think that he is very deserving of it. He was a Broadway performer, and this was like, I believe his first like legit big production, like in terms of TV, and he absolutely nailed it as Judas. So if he got it, I would not be upset. But I think it's most likely going to go to Edgar Ramirez, and I would not be upset if he got it. So supporting actor, Edgar Ramirez, I think is most likely going to get that, and that's how I feel about that one. So for supporting actress in a comedy series, we have Zazie Beetz for Atlanta, Alec Borstein for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Addie Bryant for Saturday Night Live, Betty Gilpin for Glow, Leslie Jones for Saturday Night Live, Kate McKinnon for Saturday Night Live, Laurie Metcalf for Roseanne, and Megan Mullally for Will and Grace. Now, I'm just going to say right now, if Betty Gilpin does not win this and she does not take this home, that will easily be one of the biggest upsets of the entire night. I will be really upset if Betty Gilpin does not take this home because she completely commands that show. I mean, anyone that's seen Glow, yes, Alison Brie is fantastic. Yes, Mark Maron is so good in the show. Betty Gilpin is what holds that show together. If she was not on the show, I don't think it would be as good as it is. And honestly, watch any clip that Betty Gilpin is in. Not even a clip where it is Debbie. Watch a clip where she is her Liberty Bell. The kinds of expressions and the kinds of things she does with that character, it's just amazing. Like, I am honestly constantly just so amazed by the range that Betty Gilpin really has as an actress. And if she does not take this home, I will be really upset. I'll be very surprised if she doesn't. I think, honestly, she is the one to win. I think definitely this is, like I said, is her award to win pretty much, and I will be very surprised if she doesn't take this home. I'll also be kind of upset because I think out of everyone, as much as I did like Alec Borstein, Betty Gilpin is pretty much the glue that holds Glow together. She is that, she really is, I think, that headliner that they really need, especially considering Betty Gilpin wasn't really that recognizable of a name until Glow. And I think this show is really going to make her a much bigger star. And I think she's going to be cast in a lot of stuff after this show. So, yeah, definitely Betty Gilpin for Glow. If she doesn't win it, I'll be very surprised, and I really do hope she gets this one. So definitely Betty Gilpin for Glow for Best Supporting Actress in a comedy series. So now we go to Supporting Actor, which this one is a little bit tricky. So we got Louis Anderson for Baskets, Alec Baldwin for Saturday Night Live, Titus Burgess for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Brian Tyree Henry for Atlanta, Tony Shalhoub for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which admittedly wasn't really much of a comedic role, but okay. Kenan Thompson for Saturday Night Live, and Henry Winkler for Barry. Now, I most likely think, and I could be wrong, I think this is going to go to Henry Winkler. I've heard so many people talk about Barry. I've heard that Henry Winkler is the pretty much the secret link of that show. A lot of people did not think he was going to be as good as he really was, but he really is very much the scene stealer there. So I think he definitely has a chance of getting it. We'll have to see the way that one does turn out. But I think it's going to go to Henry Winkler. Louis Anderson would be cool, but he's won, I believe, twice before already. It's, again, amazing what he does with that character. I am constantly amazed by how he's able to accurately portray this woman on that show. I mean, it's very rare that we get that accurate of a portrayal and someone that is that unrecognizable, but Louis Anderson just goes for it, and it'd be awesome if he won it. But like I said, I think it is going to go to Henry Winkler. I've heard so many things about Barry. I am going to watch it. Don't worry, guys. I will eventually watch it, but I do think it is going to go to him. I was very surprised Lakeith Stanfield wasn't nominated for this instead of Brian Tyree Henry, because all I've heard about Atlanta, and unfortunately I've not gotten a chance to watch the second season yet. I know I will eventually watch it. All I've heard is that, episode, I forgot what the name of the episode was, but of course it's the episode that is in blackface, where you have, Donald Glover is playing this white guy who is in blackface, and what was the name of that episode? Let me look it up. Okay. Atlanta. Season 2. Teddy Perkins. There we go. Teddy Perkins. That's all I've heard about with Season 2. So I was very surprised they didn't get to Lakeith Stanfield for that very reason. That being said, I think he could very well get it next year. We'll have to see. But I think this is going to go to Henry Winkler. I've heard so much acclaim about him. A lot of people are thinking Kenan Thompson because this is his last year to get it, and that'd be cool. Like, I think Kenan Thompson, yeah, he's very deserving of it, but I think most likely, I noticed the Emmys, they tend to give these awards to first-timers, and I think Henry Winkler is going to be, well, now, obviously he's not a first-timer, but this is the first year that Barry's nominated, so technically he is. So I do think Henry Winkler is probably going to get this. It'd be really cool if he did, and yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen for that one. All right. Now we get to the stuff I actually can talk about, because I've seen a lot of these. Supporting actress in a drama series. We got Alexis Bledel for The Handmaid's Tale, Millie Bobby Brown for Stranger Things, Ann Dowd for The Handmaid's Tale, Lena Headey for Game of Thrones, Vanessa Kirby for The Crown, Tandy Newton for Westworld, and Yvonne Strahovski for The Handmaid's Tale. Now, once again, the people who do the Emmy voters, they usually like to give this to first-timers. However, the difficulty with that is that these are all people who have been nominated before. So I honestly don't know with this one. I know Ann Dowd won it last year, I believe. I think the year before that it was it Vanessa Kirby? I think it was some. I know The Crown won like a boatload, like a shit ton of stuff. When in 2016, but I don't entirely remember who it was. I think it's going to go to Ann Dowd again. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to go to Ann Dowd. I mean, just, again, I've only seen like 1.5 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale, but what she does in that show is spectacular. I mean, she really makes you fear her. But what I really love about Ann Dowd is that she just puts 100% into everything. Even when she has a small role as the librarian in American Animals, she still kills it. She still is one of the most memorable things about that movie. And that's something I love about Ann Dowd as an actress. She just always goes for it. I think she's one of the best character actresses working today. And Yeah, so Ann Dowd for Handmaid's Tale. I do think she's going to get a 2 for 2 so far here. So most likely, I think it is going to go to her. All right, so supporting actor in a drama series. Hold on one second. We have Nicola Coster-Waldau for Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones, Joseph Fiennes for The Handmaid's Tale, David Harbour for Stranger Things, Mandy Patinkin for Homeland, and Matt Smith for The Crown. This one, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. There's a lot of contenders here. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with this one. I'm not entirely sure really who is going to get it. I think, like I said, there's a lot of possibilities here. So I'm just going to go out of a limb and say, I want to say someone from Game of Thrones, but I feel like when it comes to Game of Thrones, you know, neither Peter Dinklage or Nicola Coster were really the standout of last season. The only thing that you could nominate Nicola for, of course, is that amazing scene with all the dragons, you know, and on the dragons on fire and things like that, and not knowing if Jaime was going to survive. But again, he wasn't really the thing that heightened that scene. It was more just the scope of it all. So I don't think they're going to get it to him. I don't know, honestly. Maybe David Harbour. Maybe David Harbour will get it for Stranger Things. I really don't know with this one, honestly. This is kind of one where I just don't really know who's going to get it. I think there's a lot of possibilities here. We'll just kind of have to see the way that one does play out. For now, I'm not sure. Like I said, we'll just have to see the rest of, you know, the way the night plays out, and that's really what I want to say about that one. Lead actress in a limited series or movie. All right, here's where we get to the good stuff. We got Laura Dern for The Tale, Jessica Biel for The Sinner, Michelle Dockery for Godless, Edie Falco for The Menendez Murders, Regina King for 7 Seconds, and Sarah Paulson for American Horror Story Cult. I think Jessica Biel is going to get this. I would love to see Laura Dern get this. I mean, I think it would be so great if she got it. Not only would it be achievement for her, it'd be an achievement for, you know, Jennifer Lee, I believe her name was. Jennifer Fox. It'd be a great achievement for her. Just, you know, especially knowing that her story, you know, was so adorned by so many critics, and a lot of people loved Dern's portrayal. I think it's personally the best work I've ever seen from her. And I would be very happy if she won. I would honestly be elated if she won. But there is an argument to make that Jessica Biel's was just as impressive. Why? Because nobody really held Biel to that high of a regard before they saw her in The Sinner. And yeah, she's it was honestly revolutionary in that show. It was a revelation what she was able to do there. I did not think Biel was capable of giving such a nuanced performance, but she absolutely did that with the character Cora Tanetti, and I would love to see her get this. So I think Laura Dern or Jessica Biel are probably the fan favorite here. Maybe Michelle Dockery for Godless. I mean, I haven't really heard too much about that one, so I think those two are possibly going to get it. I'm probably wrong because, again, I haven't watched a lot of these, but we'll have to see. I think most likely, though, it is going to be either Jessica Biel or Laura Dern. I will be happy with either of those, and that's really what I have to say for that one. So, lead actor in a limited series or movie, we have Antonio Banderas for Genius Picasso, Darren Criss for Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Benedict Cumberbatch for Patrick Melrose, Jeff Daniels for The Looming Tower, John Legend for Jesus Christ Superstar, and Jesse Plemons for USS Callister. I keep hearing a lot of people say John Legend is going to get this, and that would be awesome. I think John Legend was phenomenal in Jesus Christ Superstar. Did he have the greatest voice? No. But he was able to project so much. Did he really, for that role? Obviously, John Legend is an incredible singer, and we knew he had a very good range. Listen to the cast recording. He absolutely could have hit that note. You know, he definitely could have hit that one note in Galveston. He just, for some reason, didn't, and I don't really know why. I think that performance in general was incredible. I love what he was able to do in that performance. But that being said, I think that definitely his talent was very much recognized. I think he definitely did hold that show together. and I would be very happy if he did end up winning that one. So most likely, I do think this is going to go to John Legend. I think it'd be awesome if he got it, and yeah, I think John Legend is probably going to get this one. We'll have to see. Again, I could be wrong because a lot of these I'm probably not right with, but I think John Legend is going to get this. I would be so happy if Benedict Cumberbatch won it. I think his work on Patrick Melrose is incredible. I think it's some of the best work he's ever done. The character was very much written for him. Wasn't written for him, but it was very much, I think, the role that he was born to play. And not enough people saw that show, unfortunately. So I don't think it's going to win, but I'm just happy he was nominated. I honestly forgot that he was nominated. I was very happy to see him nominated. So yeah, I think this is, I think it's going to be awesome if he does get that. I would love to see, like I said, Benedict Cumberbatch get it, but I think it's most likely going to go to John Legend. If not him, it's going to go to Darren Criss because, again, Ryan Murphy shows tend to win a lot. So either one of those two are probably going to get it. That's really what I have to say for that one. Okay. So for lead actress in a comedy series, we have Pamela Adlon for Better Things, Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Tracy Ellis Ross for Blackish, Allison Janney for Mom, Lily Tomlin for Grace and Frankie, and Issa Rae for Insecure. Rachel fucking Brosnahan better win this one, honestly. I would be really upset if Rachel Brosnahan did not walk away with this. I think it would be so deserving if she got this one. It would be a real treat to see her walk away with this. I mean, again, not really a name I recognized all that much. I know that she did things before, but again, it just wasn't really a name that I held to that high of a regard. And seeing what she was able to do on that show, I really want to see her take this. I think it'd be such a great moment to see her take this one. I would be very happy, like I said, if she walked away with it. Something tells me it's going to go to her, and like I said, I'm really hoping it does. Because, again, they like to give it to first-timers, and I'd love to see Rachel Brosnahan get it. I think it'd be very, very deserving. She, for me, was the thing that held that show together. If Brosnahan was not in it, I don't think Mrs. Maisel would be nearly as good of a show as it really is, but Rachel Brosnahan, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, really no other choices in my mind. I think definitely she should walk away with this, and I would be very upset if she didn't win it. So for me, Rachel Brosnahan, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, all the way. Better win this one. Okay. So lead actor in a comedy series, we have Donald Glover for Atlanta, Bill Hader for Barry, Anthony Anderson for Blackish, William H. Macy for Shameless, Larry David for Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Ted Danson for The Good Place. Me personally, a lot of people are going to say Donald Glover because, again, he's very popular right now. He's probably one of the most popular figures in the entertainment industry right now. But, again, I don't think he's going to get it. I think it's most likely going to go to Bill Hader, and good for him. You know, a lot of people didn't think Barry was going to work. A lot of people didn't know what it was going to be. But from what I heard, again, I haven't seen the show, he absolutely killed it on that show. He gave one of his best performances ever. And Bill Hader, for me, is one of those actors where, similar to Ann Dowd, he just goes for it. Well, no matter what he does, he just goes for it. Whether it's good or bad, he goes for it. He rarely ever doesn't put 110% into everything. And I loved, I've loved everything I've seen from him. So I would be fine with him winning. If Donald Glover won as well, I would be fine with that. But most likely, like I said, I think it is going to go to Bill Hader for Barry. I don't really think there's any other choices. Some people could say, oh, Larry David for Curb Your Enthusiasm. But again, I believe he's won before, so I don't think he's going to get it. I think either Bill Hader or Donald Glover, most likely Bill Hader, and I think it would be very deserving if he did get it. So that's what I'm going to say for that one. Okay, so now we go to the big ones, guys. These are the ones that I know everyone really wants me to talk about. Lead actress in a drama series. We got Claire Foy for The Crown, Tatiana Maslany for Orphan Black, Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale, Sandra Oh for Killing Eve, Kerry Russell for The Americans, and Evan Rachel Wood for Westworld. Now, I got to tell you guys a secret. I have technically watched all of Killing Eve. For some reason, I never finished it. I have like 2 episodes left. I don't know what happened. Of what I saw, I absolutely loved it. And I think Sandra Oh, it would be awesome if she really won this, but that's not my pick. My pick is 110% Carrie Russell. Mainly because this is the last year the Americans are eligible to win. And if Carrie Russell doesn't win this, I would be honestly really upset. Similar to Betty Gilpin, I think Carrie Russell really commanded the entire 6th season of The Americans. I mean, we really got to look into Elizabeth that we really haven't seen before. We saw her a much more sort of vulnerable side of her, but also someone who cared a lot less and was just kind of this cold-blooded killer and rarely ever thought things through. And we saw her dedication to her country, but we also saw her sort of wavering a bit. And I think Russell was just able to project so much emotion into someone who is essentially devoid of it. You know, Elizabeth isn't someone that wants to admit she has emotion. She tries to keep her emotions out of it. And that's one of the things that really fuels and drives her as a character. And I think for that reason alone, Carrie Russell definitely should win it. The fact she was able to pour so much into so little, I think is incredible. Just that one scene between her, the one scene that really sticks out in my mind that I think they should absolutely play is the scene where she's contemplating, and I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but it involves a scene with her contemplating to kill a certain character, and we get this really nice montage. I'm not going to spoil what it is, of course, but that scene alone, I think definitely should nab her the award. I think, again, this would be a shame if she didn't get it. The Americans is personally my favorite show of the year. It is the only show so far that I've given an A+ to, and I stick by it. I think she's incredible in that show. I think she gives the best work I've ever seen from her, and if she doesn't walk away, it'll be a crime, honestly. I will be very upset if she doesn't win this. So Carrie Russell for The Americans definitely is my pick for Best Actress in a Drama Series. Really hope she wins this. It could very well end up going to Sandra Oh for Killing Eve. I wouldn't be upset if they did that, but like I said, I really want to see Carrie Russell get this. I think it would just be, it'd be the best way, I think, to end The Americans here. You know, The Americans, the only accolades they've gotten are, I believe, like Critics' Choice Awards, and of course for Margot Martindale. Margot Martindale is phenomenal on that show, but it's, you know, it's pretty obvious that they're a bit overdue. They're a bit overdue when it comes to winners. They were a bit overdue on being nominated, but they're a bit overdue when it comes to, you know, having some more accolades. And I think they need some more. And I would love to see Carrie Russell get this, but that's really what I have to say for that one. Okay. So, lead actor in a drama series, we have Jason Bateman for Ozark, Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us, Ed Harris for Westworld, Matthew Rhys for The Americans, Milo Ventimiglia for This Is Us, and Jeffrey Wright for Westworld. Now, I think this is most likely going to go to Sterling K. Brown again. I think he is going to get it for This Is Us. You know, he won it last year. I think he's going to get it again this year. It'd be cool to see him get it, but again, they like to, you know, the Emmys like to have actors or actresses win that have not gotten it before. So Jason Bateman very well could be up there. Again, I'd be very happy if Matthew Rhys got it because, again, it's the last year the Americans could win. But I don't think he needs it as much as Carrie Russell. He was fantastic this season. Fantastic the whole show. Don't get me wrong. They were both phenomenal. But out of the 2 performers, Carrie Russell needs it the most, for sure. And sure, you know, in that final episode, Matthew Rhys did kind of, you know, give her a run for her money. But I think Russell, like I said, really anchored that entire season overall. So for me, I think they're going to give this to Jason Bateman just because he's a newcomer. But they could give it to Sterling K. Brown as well. He is a very much a crowd pleaser, and a lot of people really do want him to win. But most likely, I think it's going to go to Jason Bateman. Again, I could be wrong, but we'll have to see the way that one does play out. But now we get to the last big 3 categories where we have limited series, which this one's interesting. We have The Alienist, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Genius Picasso, Godless, and Patrick Melrose. Now, this one's pretty much a no-brainer. It's definitely going to American Crime Story. I don't really think there's any other choice here. Again, Ryan Murphy, always wins big. I don't think that's going to be any different here. But the Alienist winning for limited series, being nominated, that's surprising to me. I did not think people held that show to that high of a standard, but cool. I mean, of what I saw, I wasn't really the hugest fan, hence why I didn't end up reviewing it, but cool if they get it. They're definitely not going to win, but it's cool they got nominated, I guess. Good for Luke Evans, good for Daniel Bruhl, good for Dakota Fanning, even though she was, from what I saw, kind of wasted in that show. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to American Crime Story. It's pretty obvious for that one. Then we go to comedy series, which we got Atlanta, Barry, Blackish, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Glow, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Silicon Valley, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. There's a lot of newcomers here. We got Barry, we got Glow, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. But I think out of the three, this will probably go to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That one had the most hype behind it for sure. Glow would be fantastic, but Glow still has other chances to win. So I don't think Glow is going to sweep the category, so to speak. I don't think they're going to get a lot of big ones. I think it's, again, Betty Gilpin is really the only thing that show truly needs. It would be cool if they won, obviously, but I do think Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is probably going to take this one. We'll have to see the way it does play out, but most likely, I think it's going to be Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I'd be very happy if they did win it, and that's what I think is going to win for comedy. And then, of course, we get to the last one, guys, which is Best Drama Series. We got The Handmaid's Tale, Game of Thrones, This Is Us, The Crown, The Americans, Stranger Things, and Westworld. Look, I would be elated if the Americans really did win this because, again, they're long overdue. The only thing they've won is Margot Martindale. They might have won a couple writing things here and there, but the point is they have not won nearly as many awards as they truly do deserve, and it would be awesome to see it win. I mean, it happened with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was nominated way after it ended, like way after, and it was able to win Best Drama. Unfortunately, the Americans never really received that big of an audience. It never really received that big of a following. So because of that, I don't think the Americans is going to walk away with this. I know it's very sad, but I don't think it's going to walk away with this. I think it's going to be, once again, either The Crown or The Handmaid's Tale. Those seem to be the most popular ones. Those seem to be the ones that sweep the majority of the awards, and I don't think it's going to be that different here. Although this year I think could be a little bit different because there's a lot of various things nominated, and I don't really think there's going to be one show sweeping everything, so to speak. But I do think Handmaid's Tale is going to get a lot. I think The Crown's going to get a lot, and I think either one of those does have a chance of winning. Some people are saying Game of Thrones, but I think they're going to wait till next year. Game of Thrones, that's literally their last year they can win. So I think they're probably going to wait till next year to have that, be the winner. But I'd love to see the Americans, and as much as it pains me to say, I don't think they're going to win this one. I think it's going to be The Crown or The Handmaid's Tale. If they win, then awesome. I would be so happy if they won. It would be probably one of the best moments in Emmy history, just because it'd be so surprising. And again, considering they haven't really won a lot, it would be that much more pleasing to me just to see them win. Yeah, so I really want to see the Americans get this, but I think it's going to be either The Handmaid's Tale or The Crown. We'll have to see the way that one does turn out. Again, I'd love to see the Americans get it. Just because certain people are here, I'm still pretty pissed that the leftovers didn't get anything last year, and I'm hoping the Americans can possibly, make up for that because the Americans actually, got the stuff it deserves. It didn't win anything, but I kind of feel like if the Americans win, it would kind of be, kind of taking the taste of the leftovers getting nothing out of my mouth. So that's another reason why I really wanted to get it, because the Americans is the second best show that was on TV right next to the leftovers, and now they're both done. So I would love to see that happen. But again, I digress. It's probably going to go to The Crown or The Handmaid's Tale. Would love to see either of those get it, and I think that's probably what's going to happen. But with that, guys, that's really it. Those are really all my predictions for the Emmys tonight. I will most likely not be doing a live stream. I'm going to be doing a winners video later tomorrow night, so definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you to everyone that did watch this over in the Tiger Squad on YouTube. Thank you for whoever watches it then. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in my next video, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.